In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to change the LED module on our CL-405-BT fixtures. The main tool you'll need is a 8mm open-end box wrench or a 5/16 box wrench. Either one will work fine. I'm going to use the 8mm. So on your fixture, you can pull it out of the ground. Make sure you can get out of the ground a little bit to make it easy to work with. The first thing we want to do is to open the fixture, open the shroud, take the shroud off. That's going to give us access to our module. And now what we want to do is carefully unscrew the module. We unscrew the module like that. Okay, and pull the module up. And you want to turn the module clockwise to unravel the wires there. So once the wires are unraveled, now you have access to the power cable. That's a little clip on here where we can release that with a button. Pull that off. Then if you see inside, this the antenna there. You can either use another 8mm wrench to hold that, or you can use your finger. I just like to use my finger, makes it a little easier. So I'm going to go in here and put my finger on there and hold that. And then I'm going to use my number 8 wrench, and I'm going to loosen the antenna. Okay, and be careful not to lose anything. Maybe make sure you have something out in the field that you can catch anything that drops, because the screws and everything on here are really, really small. So we want to drop that in the grass or any kind of flower bed area. So now I'm going to take our 8mm and we're going to take off the nut. Okay, a couple of times there to get it off of there, just to loosen it, so we can probably use our fingers to get it. So once you do that, and make sure using your finger inside of there, make sure everything is straight so it comes right off. So we're going to unscrew the nut, and we're going to make sure we capture that so it doesn't fall. There's our nut. Then we're going to have a lock washer. There's a lock washer there. And then we're going to have a rib flat washer. Here's our rib flat washer. There it is. So rib flat washer, lock washer, nut, and antenna. So now we can just use our fingers and bring that right on out. Now you can replace the module. The new module, when you get it, it's not going to have the O-ring on there. So you want to make sure you save the O-ring on this antenna. So you can slide that O-ring right off and put it back onto the new module that you're trying to replace. Now, once you got the O-ring back on the antenna, we're going to take our antenna and place that back on to the inside and find the hole on the inside there, and we're going to place that right in there. So we're going to line that right up. It can be a little tricky sometimes, but take your time. It shouldn't be no more than a 5 to 6 minute job on this, depending on where the location is. So make sure everything's nice and straight. Okay, so now we're going to do everything back in reverse order. So we're going to have our ribbed washer. Okay, that was in there. So now we're going to take our flat lock washer, get that on there, and then we're going to take our nut and put our nut on there. These are fine threads, so you have to really take your time to make sure the threads are lined up perfectly so you can get it started. So now it's all started. We're going to use our fingers and just trying to get it all up in there tight as we can by hand. So once that's tight by hand, you think, we'll take our 8mm open and we'll start closing that up and tighten it all up. Again, it doesn't have to be super tight, but as long as we get a seal on the inside from keeping water out of the fixture, and that O-ring should seat there. Okay, so that's there. Now we'll take our antenna and do the same thing and get that on there. Get our antenna on there. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight, nice and snug. Okay, And then from there, we'll go ahead and get our power together. The Molex here can only go one way. So how do you do that? You just make sure you line up the red and the white together. And it plugs right in. Red, white, everything lined up. Now the secret to this is to before you screw it back in, you want to turn it counterclockwise. Turn the whole module and the wires counterclockwise 6 to 7 times. There we go. And then we're going to find where it threads in there, and then we're going to turn it until it goes all the way back down. And by turning it counterclockwise, once you turn it clockwise, all the wires inside should be nice and straight. So we tighten that up. We'll go ahead and put our shroud back on there. And that's how you replace the module on the CL-405-BT.